2nd of January, and it is absolutely freezing. It is so cold that Tom Reynolds has decided that he's staying in bed all day. He's not even coming into work because he just can't bear the cold. No, I'm kidding. Tom is on vacation and Rice is filling in for him, so we'll introduce her in just a few moments. All right, temperatures are so cold today. It is actually 3 degrees colder right now than it was at this time yesterday. And if you remember this time yesterday, you remember just how cold it was. Now, our daytime high yesterday, we only got up to a high of -17. Felt like the -20. Temperatures today, I would love to tell you that they're going to warm up dramatically. Well, they're not. We're going to stay frigid. Right now, it's -22 through Toronto. It is -26 in Orangeville. We're looking at -28 through Newmarket. We're -25 in Oshawa. With the wind, it feels more like -30 to -32. This afternoon, it's freezing still. -14 through Hamilton and in through Toronto. We're looking at -17 in Barrie, -16 through Orangeville. We're looking at -15 in Oshawa. But again, throw in those winds and it is going to feel much colder. I think that's bad. Well, we've got some snow on the way. Now, it's not so much going to affect us with this. This is what's happening with the lake effect, weak trough moving through the area. This is going to give some areas an additional 2 to 5 centimeters. Our big story is coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 5 to 10 centimeters, could be more. We're looking at blowing and drifting snow. This is going to be a mess if you've got travel plans over the weekend. Now, we'll talk about the weekend temperatures. Are we going to warm up? Well, I'll have all those answers coming up. But first, Raisa Ahmed is in for Tom Reynolds. Here's a look at traffic.
Thanks, Emily.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It's the 22nd of January, and it is absolutely frigid. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emily Vukovic. Temperatures this morning are actually about 3 to 4 degrees colder than they were yesterday morning at this time. Throw in the winds, and it is absolutely frigid, feeling closer to the -20s to the -30s. It has just been so rough for people in southern Ontario. Trying to get anywhere has been very tricky. Current temperatures, we're looking into the -20s right now. We're -21 through Toronto, -20 in Hamilton. We're sitting comfortably at -28 in Barrie. You're right. -28 through Newmarket. We're at -25 through Oshawa. These cold conditions will continue into the afternoon. We get a little warmer, -14 through Hamilton, -17 in Barrie, and we're looking at -16 through Newmarket. Winter comfort tips. Stay in. We've got some snow on the way for today through tomorrow, just to the south of us, and we've got a pretty intense system that's going to be making its way through the lower Great Lakes for the weekend. So I'm going to have all the details on that coming up in just a few moments. But first, I'm going to turn things over to Raisa. She's got a look at traffic.
Thank you, and I completely agree with you, Emily. It is freezing out there.
All right, well, temperatures are going to stay cold for the remainder of the week. We're looking at -14 tomorrow, feeling like -23. It'll feel like -20 on Friday. We've got blowing and drifting snow. New system coming in through the lower Great Lakes, giving us the potential for 5 to 10. I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but when it is blowing and drifting, it can cause blizzard-like conditions. Tuesday was one of those go nowhere fast days in the U.S. thanks to heavy snow. The worst of the storm is over for the eastern U.S., but life isn't back to normal just yet. If you think 2013 was a busy year for bad weather, you're right, at least based on insurance payouts. Suzanne Leonard tells us more about that. Thanks, Suzanne. All right, we'll take a look at your long-range forecast. We'll let you know about these cold temperatures in just a few moments. But first, I'm going to turn things over to Raisa Ahmed. She's got a look at traffic.
Thanks, Emily. Let's head over to the...
Good morning. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday. It is the 22nd of January, and it is freezing. Yeah, it's really cold. We're looking at temperatures into the -20s right now, feeling more like the -30s when you factor in the wind. No wind chill warning, however, because the criteria just isn't met. You have to have cold temperatures plus wind, and we just don't have the wind this morning. So, yes, the temperature is colder than it was yesterday when we did have the wind chill warning in place, but we don't have that breeze to kind of go with it. So, in these types of conditions, you really have to be careful with how much time you spend outside, especially with exposed skin. You're going to want to layer up. You're going to want to stay active if you're outside. Temperatures right now, we're looking at minus 21 through Toronto, minus 28 through Newmarket, minus 28 in Barrie, minus 26 through Orangeville, minus 20 in Hamilton. I wish I had better news for the afternoon, but I don't. It's cold. So we're looking at minus 14 as a daytime high through Toronto as in through Hamilton, minus 16 through Orangeville as well as Newmarket, minus 15 through Oshawa, and minus 17 in Barrie. Now, if you do have to be outside in these conditions, winter comfort tips. You are going to want to dress for Arctic conditions, so that will require an enduring jacket. Dress in many, many warm layers. Think like long underwear, double pair of socks today, and limit the amount of exposed skin. And you know those little hot paw things that you can get and put them in your mitts and your boots? I think those will help too if you've got a long walk to work this morning. A little bit of snow on the way. Weak trough pushing through the area. We're looking at about 2 to 5 centimeters, Kitchener south, so you probably could get a light dusting through the Kitchener area. This is what's happening on the weekend, and this is going to be pretty intense. I know you're thinking, well, it's only 5 to 10 centimeters. Yes, but our winds are going to be sustained at about 40 kilometers an hour on Saturday, and that could leave you with some whiteout conditions. Blowing and drifting snow is going to be an issue, so keep that in mind if you do have travel plans this weekend. Speaking of travel, we're going to turn things over to Raisa. She has got your update on your commute. Well, if you have had enough of winter, if you are finished with these cold temperatures and you want to head somewhere south and sunny and hot, well, here's some good options. Puerto Vallarta looks great, 31, tons of sunshine. Cancun, Mexico, sunny and warm at 26. Jamaica looks great. Montego Bay, we're seeing sunshine, temperatures in the 20s. Cuba looks fantastic. Havana, 26 degrees. If you're traveling through Aruba, 31 and tons of sun. And Antigua looks amazing, 29 with lots of sunshine.
Closed.
It's cold. It's cold again. Yesterday we saw daytime highs around minus 17. Today's actually going to be a little warmer. Minus 14 is the daytime high. It's not so much the temperatures, it's the wind chill. It's what it feels like. Well, this morning we're feeling closer to the high minus 20s to the minus 30s. Yesterday, if you were walking around the Great Lakes, you probably noticed a few of these. These are steam devils. Little whirlwinds over the water that kind of essentially suck up fog, and that's why you can see them. They're good transfers of moisture, and they're pretty popular at this time of year when it gets incredibly cold, but the water is still relatively warm. I say relatively warm because if you were to jump into Lake Ontario, you'd probably freeze. But when you compare it to the air temperature, it's hot. All right, well, here's a look across the country at our very cold temperatures, and you can actually make out where the jet stream is. It has a nice big ridge in the west, and then it dips significantly to the east. So we're not the only ones suffering in this cold. Winnipeg, minus 24. That's their daytime high today. In comparison, look at Calgary, minus 2. They have been above the freezing mark for the last couple of weeks. Now, we've got cold temperatures continuing into the weekend, but we also have snow on the way. It's not a significant amount of snow. We're looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters widespread. The issue is that we're going to have winds that are going to be sustained at about 40 kilometers an hour throughout the day on Saturday, and that snow is going to be moisture starved. It's going to be that kind of light, fluffy stuff that you can just kind of go with your hand. It is going to be blowing and drifting, causing poor visibility, whiteout conditions on the road. So if you do have travel plans, this is going to be a big story. Temperatures are so cold that there's the frostbite risk, anywhere between minus 10 to minus 20 wind chill. It's fairly low, but you get into the minus 27 to minus 39 range, and you can see frostbite in about 10 to 30 minutes. Now, if you are brave or crazy enough to go out in this, here's a look at the snow on the ground. If you're a skier or a boarder, anywhere up towards resort country through Collingwood and in through Barrie, it looks good, 30 plus centimeters on the ground, and even further in through northern Ontario, it looks amazing through Timmins, North Bay, Sault Ste. Marie. Tons of snow, great for hitting the slopes this weekend. All right, I'm going to turn things over to Raisa. She's got an update on your morning commute. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday, it's the 22nd of January. I'm Emily Vukovic. Temperatures are freezing again this morning. If you have travel plans, if you're just putting the final things into your suitcase this morning, you're heading to Pearson because you're traveling south or you're going down towards the United States, be prepared for flight delays and cancellations. Yesterday, the backlog throughout the U.S. because of a potential nor'easter that's hitting Atlantic Canada today. Oh, canceled thousands of flights. So again, give yourself lots of extra travel time. Call ahead. If anybody's done it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just awful. All right. Well, today conditions will get better. I was looking at some live webcams of New York, and it's faring okay. Now we've got Kevin Yard. He's joining us in these cold conditions. Kevin, what are you doing this morning to stay warm? All right, we're going to check in with Kevin in just a few moments. Temperatures this morning, we're looking into the -20s, feeling like the -30s when you factor in the wind. You certainly want to dress appropriately for these types of conditions. We're going to go to Kevin. He's wearing everything he needs to stay warm.
Well, I'm at Tim Hortons this morning here in Innisfil, and I was hoping somebody would come out and...
Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on. I can hear Kevin, you can see Kevin, but yeah, I think he was going to say, I was hoping someone was going to come out and bring me some coffee, and I'm sure, Kevin, you're standing in the Tim Hortons parking lot. Someone is going to bring you coffee. Temperatures remaining cold. We'll talk about your long-range forecast. We're also going to be touching on some snow that we'll see this weekend in just a moment, but first I'm going to turn things over to Raisa. She's got an update on your commute.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Raisa. Well, we do have temperatures continuing to stay very cold for the remainder of the week. We're looking at -14, feeling like -23 tomorrow, feeling like -20 for Friday, and then the snow comes in. We're expecting anywhere between 5 to 10 centimeters, but with the winds, we could be experiencing whiteout conditions just in time for the weekend. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It's the 22nd of January. I'm Emily Vukovic. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network this morning. Temperatures are absolutely frigid. We've been talking about cold temperatures and wind chills, and we've got some snow on the way for the weekend that could put a dent in your travel plans. We'll talk about all of that coming up in just a moment. First, let's check in with Kevin Yard. He is trying his best to stay warm. And Kevin, I've tweeted out to people, what should Kevin do to stay warm in this weather? And I think that you should do some jumping jacks. All right, thanks so much, Kevin. Snowfall on the way this weekend. It is going to be blowing and drifting, and that's going to cause some whiteout conditions. I'll show you the map in a moment. Let's talk about some winter comfort tips if you're driving, and limit the amount of exposed skin. So if you can cover anything and just kind of peek through with your eyes, that's your best bet this morning. We're looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow, and I know you're thinking, well, that's not an incredible amount, but it's going to be blowing and drifting, causing whiteout conditions. So if you've got travel plans Friday into Sunday, that could certainly put a dent into it. Also, it is going to stay very, very cold. I'll talk about those temperatures in just a few moments, but first, here's Raisa with traffic. All right, well, temperatures are staying cold as we get closer to the weekend. We're looking at a wind chill of -23 tomorrow, feeling like -20 for Friday. And then over the weekend, still feeling like the minus double digits, and that snow is going to start late day Friday, continue until Sunday. Tuesday was one of those go nowhere fast days in the U.S. thanks to heavy snow. The worst of the storm is over for the eastern U.S., but life isn't back to normal just yet. We've got Kevin Yard. He's joining us live in Barrie this morning. And Kevin, trying your best to stay warm. I've noticed you've actually put your hood up, something you haven't done yet this week. Tuesday was one of those go nowhere fast days in the U.S. thanks to heavy snow and in today. Temperatures are really cold throughout southern Ontario this morning. Kevin Yard is live in Barrie. And Kevin, the street looks empty. Everybody else is staying inside. You're the only brave one. Good morning. It's Wednesday. It is the 22nd of January. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. A couple of big talking points today include frostquakes. Yeah, a lot of people have been tweeting about it, especially I've noticed through the Newmarket area this morning. A lot of people getting woken up by that loud, crackling crash. You think someone's breaking into your house, but no, it's just a frostquake. We're also talking about the cold temperatures, obviously, and the upcoming snow this weekend. And I'm going to touch on that in just a moment. But first, let's check in with Kevin Yard. And Kevin, these people that are with you, they look like they've just, I don't even know, crawled out of a snow cave.
And you guys are cold, right?
No.
No. Okay. Back inside you guys.
I have a whole new respect for anybody that lives in Barrie. That's amazing. You would not catch me doing that. All right, snow on the weekend. We're looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. I know that's not huge snowfall amounts, but when you throw in winds that are going to be sustained at about 40 kilometers an hour, we're going to have blowing and drifting snow causing poor visibility, possibly whiteout conditions Friday right through until Sunday. We'll talk about the temperatures. We'll get to those numbers in just a moment, but first, here's Risa with traffic.
Thanks.
Thanks, Risa. Well, we are going to see cold temperatures continuing as we get closer to the weekend. Minus 23 is our wind chill for tomorrow, and then minus 20 for Friday as the snow develops late in the day, continues right through the weekend, but we warm up slightly. Nothing like sleeping in an airport. Coming up, the nor'easter shuts down travel plans in the U.S. Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. It's Wednesday, the 22nd of January. I'm Emily Vukovic. Before we check in with Kevin, who joins us in Barrie this morning, I would like to thank Stephen King. Now, is that a real name or is that a coincidence or is that a... You know what I mean. Toronto, Ontario, it's still a beautiful shot. Lots of blue sky, but really cold and crisp throughout the last couple of days. Let's check in with Kevin. He's in Barrie, Ontario this morning. And Kevin, you actually got some people to come over and talk to you today. I'm surprised people are out and about.
Barrie, maybe somebody wants to say hello to me. It's only Emily. I don't know what's going on here.
I don't know, Kevin. It's just what it is, I guess. Lots of people want to say hi to you, Kevin, especially about the snow this weekend. That's what they're going to be talking about. 5 to 10 centimeters is on the way, but I know it doesn't sound like a lot of snow. We are going to have winds on Saturday gusting, well, sustained at about 40 kilometers an hour, gusting more than that. So we're going to see a lot of blowing and drifting snow, which could cause whiteout conditions if you have travel plans over the weekend. We'll talk about the weekend temperatures in just a few moments, but first, Risa with traffic. Well, temperatures staying cold right into the weekend. We're going to feel wind chill values of about minus 23 for tomorrow, minus 20 for Friday. That's when the snow starts late day. It will continue throughout the weekend. Temperatures warm up slightly, but it is still going to feel like the minus teens into the beginning of next week. Tuesday was one of those go nowhere fast days in the U.S. And we're going to check in with Kevin Yard now. He joins us in Barrie, Ontario. And Kevin, somebody actually said they would pay to see you do a handstand push-up to try and keep warm. So are you game? Are you going to participate or not so much? Tuesday was one of those go nowhere fast kind of days in the U.S. thanks to heavy snow and intense wind. And now it's heading towards Atlantic Canada for the eastern U.S., but life isn't back to normal just yet. Thousands of flights were grounded yesterday. And we're now going to check in with Kevin Yard. He joins us live in Barrie, Ontario this morning. And Kevin, how is the one-armed push-up coming? Or no, the handstand push-up that people would pay to see you do to stay warm today. How's that coming? Well, if you have had enough of winter, if you are finished with these cold temperatures and you want to head somewhere south and sunny and hot, well, here's some good options. Puerto Vallarta looks great, 31, tons of sunshine. Cancun, Mexico, sunny and warm at 26. Jamaica looks great. Montego Bay, we're seeing sunshine, temperatures in the 20s. Cuba looks fantastic. Havana, 26 degrees. If you're traveling through Aruba, 31 and tons of sun. And Antigua looks amazing, 29 with lots of sunshine. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this very cold Wednesday morning. It's January the 22nd. I'm Emily Vukovic. Temperatures are so cold this morning, it's actually feeling like the minus 30s in some areas when you factor in the wind. I'd like to thank Stephen for sending in this shot. Beautiful shot of Toronto. Blue sky, lots of sunshine, but it's frozen. Absolutely. It is so chilly out there. Temperatures into the minus teens and in some cases the minus 20s. Kevin has been joining us all morning long in Barrie, Ontario. And Kevin, even though it is freezing, you are a lucky man. People are bringing you coffee and baked goods and all sorts of yummy treats. Thanks, Kevin. Now, we do have snow on the way, as Kevin was mentioning, Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. It is not a very significant system in terms of amounts. We're only looking at about 5 to 10 centimeters. But when all of that starts blowing around, that's when we're going to start to see the issue. On Saturday, our winds are going to be sustained at around 40 kilometers an hour. So throw that in with that fresh snow, and it's going to be that really kind of grainy snow, that really light snow, not the type that you can make snowmen with. It doesn't have a lot of moisture in it. The cold air just sucks all the moisture out of that snow. So it is going to be the potential for whiteout conditions. I don't want to say blizzard-like because the winds aren't going to be that strong, but it's not going to be great for travel. We'll take a look at those numbers in just a few moments, but first, here's Risa with traffic.
Thanks, Emily.
Temperatures are going to stay cold as we get into the weekend, feeling like the -20s for tomorrow and into Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday, we warm up slightly just in time for that snow. And then we drop back down into the Arctic cold air by the beginning of next week. Hi there, good morning. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Wednesday, it's the 22nd of January, and it is still incredibly cold. Thank you so much to Stephen King. Certainly, I'm thinking not the author, maybe just a coincidence, for this beautiful shot of Toronto. And you can see beautiful blue sky, lots of sunshine, but brr, it looks cold. Yesterday, we saw a daytime high of -17, and Arctic conditions will require enduring a nice warm jacket. Dress in warm layers and limit the amount of exposed skin. So cover your face, your hands, your neck, everything. Make sure you're covered. Again, like I said, if you're brave enough to go out in this, we're looking at decent snow on the ground. So if you're planning on skiing or boarding in the next couple of days, if you're going on vacation through resort country, it looks really good. It also looks really good to the north. We're seeing tons and tons of snow. More snowfall on the way, a little bit through tonight down towards the south, about 2 to 5 additional centimeters. And then for the weekend, we do have 10 to 15 centimeters on the way in some areas, more so 5 to 10 for the GTA. It's not going to be a heavy amount of snow, but it's going to be blowing around, causing whiteout conditions Friday through Sunday. Now, when I was a kid, when it was raining or snowing, I prayed for an indoor recess. And this is what kids had to say about this year. I agree. It's been absolutely frigid. And that continues right into the weekend. We're going to see a wind chill of about -23 tomorrow, feeling like -20 for Friday. The snow develops Friday afternoon into Saturday, continues right through till Sunday. Keep in mind 5 to 10 centimeters is going to be blowing around, causing potential for whiteout conditions. And into tonight, making roads a little slick, so you may want to give yourself a little bit of extra travel time tomorrow morning for your commute. Thanks for joining us here on the Weather Network. I'm Emily Vukovic. It's Wednesday. It is the 22nd of January, and it is absolutely freezing. Temperatures into the -teens, feeling more like the -20s when you factor in the wind. We've got Kevin Yard. He's joining us live in Barrie this morning, really braving the elements. And Kevin, have people been bringing you coffee this morning? I'm sure they have. Not so bad when you get coffee and baked goods, is it, Kevin? All right, well, it's still really cold today. Bundle up on the way for the weekend. And I say significant not because of the amount, but what's going to be happening to the amount as it's falling. We've got winds that are going to be sustained on Saturday at about 40 kilometers an hour, which means it's going to be blowing, it's going to be drifting, it's going to be causing whiteout conditions in some areas. 10 to 15 centimeters through Goderich down towards Sarnia. If you do have travel plans, just keep that in mind as you get yourself ready to go out this weekend. -14 tomorrow, feeling like -23. It stays cold through Friday, feeling like -20. And then we warm up just slightly over the weekend, just in time to see that snow. And then we cool back down right through the beginning of next week. A lot trending on Twitter today, specifically Atlantic storm and nor'easter. Let's take a quick look at the shot of New York City. This is Times Square. You can see the snow blowing around, but that's not stopping people from getting out and about. We're also looking at frostquake today. A lot of people have heard them through the overnight hours, waking them up. Loudest frostquake was just woken up by another one. Don't think I'll ever not think it was an intruder. Yeah, a lot of people are being shocked by these because they sound like wrecking balls hitting the house. Finishing a relaxing cup of tea only to be scared out of my mind by another frostquake.
Closed captioning of this program